Let me tell you something. A driver don't pick the car. The car pick the driver. It's a mystical bond between man and machine. It's a mystical bond between man.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to the support of my patrons, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Bumblebee Nitro series, Bumblebee. Like the 500th Bumblebee figure that I've reviewed from this new movie. And that's one thing that I kind of want to comment on really quick before getting into the whole thing. A lot of collectors talked about Bumblebee fatigue in all the other movies. Despite the fact that Bumblebee was in the movies, it seems that a lot of the different toy lines seem to focus on him. And we got multiple repaints of this guy, as well as multiple different figures. A movie all about him means we are going to get a bunch of Bumblebee figures. And if we were worried about Bumblebee fatigue before, I'm starting to think that it's going to happen big time with these guys. Let me know what you guys think about that. For the package, you got this open display that lets you touch them and push the little button. You got images of him right down here with the Energon core thing plugged in. You got him going, I got right there. The side of it, blah, blah, blah. Bottom, blah, blah, blah. Back of the package, you got images of him in his robot as well as his vehicle mode, how it plugs in. And then the transformation, that instructions themselves are right down here. It says that he transforms in 9 steps. We shall see. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. And here we have the Nitro Series Bumblebee opened up out of its packaging and obviously in his Volkswagen Beetle mode. And I gotta say, I really do like the way that this looks. There really isn't much different than what we've gotten before. I mean, it's a whole bunch of different VW bugs. But something about this one just looks good. As you can see, fairly large in terms of the size. I mean, it's big. For a size comparison, let's set that there. Here is the Studio Series, which is noticeably smaller. Here is the Power Plus Series. You got that. You got a little teeny tiny one right there, so you can see a good evolution of the size. But when you kind of look at these, again, one thing that for me really stands out is I really like the silver that they used for the hubcaps. That looks really nice. You got some silver paint here for the headlights, and then even on the bumper. You just have that on the headlights here, but something about the silver for that just really does make it look good. I mean, you can see he's just got black. He's just got black. Even the Studio Series one just has dark gray paint, and that's even true with the Power Charge version. I mean, which is a bigger and more expensive figure. He's got the same color here. So this is probably the best looking one in terms of I guess maybe the paint applications. I don't know. I mean, because he doesn't have a ton of other paint thrown anywhere else. I mean, he's got that it kind of looks like black just for the windows, some gray plastic for the side view mirror, gray plastic here for the front bumper and the back, but it's pretty clean. You do have a little bit of robot junk hanging out here, which are going to become his feet. No paint for the taillights or anything, or even the turn signal. So I don't know. I like the silver. You got a nice VW logo right there in the center of it. You also have the VW logo right there. Now, this being the Nitro Series, he does come with his little Energon core thing. Taking a look at the other ones that we've gotten, again, I believe this one is a completely new mold. You can see it. Obviously, it's got silver paint and everything, but you can really see it here in the front. When you take a look at it, you can see that you have these little grid sort of honeycomb pattern things right there. The rest of it does look all completely different. Let's plug all these together. Make one big, giant Energon core. There we go. But you can see that they are all different. So all 4, obviously this one's barricades. That's really impressive that they completely molded these differently. Now, the integration for this, I don't really like all that much. You gotta pop open the hood. And I mean, I don't even know really how you do it. I mean, like, you got 2 hinges here. So do you hinge it like that? Do you hinge it like that? I mean, I don't know, you can do it, I guess, kind of however you want. But it doesn't really seem to fit in here all that great. You got that little post right here that kind of gets in the way here. So you kind of have to go down, and more than likely you're going to split the thing. So I don't know necessarily if I'm doing it a wrong way, but I don't like how it lines up there. So there, yeah, see, it's just gonna pop it loose, and when you pop it loose, it kind of makes it a little bit flimsy. But there you have it in there. Again, you push it down and he goes. He's definitely a heavier figure, so it does go a little bit slower, but he still goes. And then again, I mean, I don't know really how you want to position the side pieces here. You can kind of do that however you want, and then taking it out is also kind of a pain. I'm just going to go through the bottom, but again, it's split this, which sucks. I'm not a big fan of it. Now to transform them, first you need to take the front section and the back section and pull it down just like so. You can take this section, fold out the feet, and then split these legs. They then accordion outward. You can see now one leg is longer than the other. So just pull that away, fold this around, kind of push that in, lock that into place just like that. We can't see the whole thing, so let's zoom up. And then these pieces here, you can do whatever you kind of want with them. Separate this, and then pull these down like that. You can fold that around, pull these out, pull that down. You can, I mean, again, you can kind of leave them like that. It's however you really want to do it. Take the fist here, I mean, that will kind of get in the way. Take the fists, fold those forward, just like so. You can take these little bits, you can angle these down, reach in here, grab his head, pull it up, kind of straighten out the arms a little bit. There you go, get that all the way down. And when you're done, there you have the Nitro Series Bumblebee in his robot mode. And he's not a bad looking toy. I mean, he does look a little bit goofy, especially with the faux chest. That really doesn't look all that good, especially just how kind of flat it is. But all in all, he's decent looking. Nice paint applications with the silver for the face. You got some blue there for the eyes. I still really wish that they would start painting the Autobot logo. That's obviously molded in his forehead, but you do have an Autobot logo there. You get some extra of this dark, not really black, not really gray. It's kind of like a brownish color. And then you get some extra, well, I do think that that is black down here, but who knows. Obviously, you have the tires. You got some more silver. Limited in terms of his articulation. That is definitely an aspect that, yeah, I would think would be a little bit better on like a main character, especially being Bumblebee. His head doesn't rotate. The shoulders do rotate. They're on hinges, but this little piece here kind of gets in the way of things. Moves in and out at the upper section of the shoulder, but then his elbow moves in and out. So he's kind of got like gorilla arms going. They don't bend forward, which is a little unfortunate. Nothing at the waist, nothing at the hips other than an outward ratchet. Again, I don't know why they couldn't have put this little piece right here on a rotation hinge. They easily could have done that. Nothing at the knees, and then the ankles, I guess, as part of the transformation kind of bend. So very limited in terms of the articulation. I really would have I mean, and I guess they couldn't really do much for the head because the connector piece is on the back of the head, so that really kind of limits the ability to rotate him up. Fairly big in terms of the size, setting him there. And here we have him with some other figures. Here we have the little tiny legend size one. Here we have the Power Plus series. Here's the Nitro Series Optimus, and then obviously the Power Charge Bumblebee. So you can see kind of a scale here. So he's pretty big, obviously, in the Nitro series. So the more direct comparison would obviously be here to Optimus. I feel like Bumblebee is a lot bigger than what he should be when you compare him to Optimus. Obviously, he's a little bit smaller, but I feel like he's bulkier, I guess. And then, I guess much like all of these, you can kind of sort of have him hold this, although it doesn't really do much, and there's no other real places you can do anything with him. You can plug it here in his back, but then you just have that hanging out of the back, and you can't really utilize this in robot mode all that much. But in general, decent looking figure. I just feel like it could have been a lot better. So going back to his vehicle mode, we're going to just fold all this stuff up, take his head, tuck that down, hinge these up. Then you got little tabs here you want to push in along the side, locking that in there like so. And then these little pieces here hook together, bring these up. This can get a little bit tricky. You got a little tab section right here that you lock everything and just kind of push and get that in there, just like so. Come down here to these legs, hinge the lower section of the leg up. Again, you can see that now you have one longer than the other. So again, accordion this down and then swivel that. You can bring these two halves together, bring the feet together, and then this whole section collapses just like so, and then that folds in, and that's it. And when you're done, there you have the Nitro Series Bumblebee back in his vehicle mode. But before I go on, guys, remember, if you like this video, I would really appreciate your support by letting me know simply by hitting that thumbs up button. It actually does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. As for Bumblebee here, I feel like the vehicle mode is the best looking part of this entire toy. I don't mind displaying them just like this. I think that it works really good. The only kind of robot junk that you get would be these back bits. So I think vehicle mode wise displays really nicely. Transformation's pretty interesting. There's not really a heck of a lot to it. It's pretty simple, but it works pretty good. Robot mode, I think, looks okay, but the functionality of it as a robot, especially at this size, is a little bit lacking. I mean, Optimus Prime had a lot more articulation put into him, and the movie's not about Optimus Prime. So I feel like Bumblebee here kind of got the short stick on things. And that kind of confuses me, to be totally honest, because it's a movie about him. In terms of the overall value, I think it's still pretty decent. You do get this that you can use with any of the other new Bumblebee figures, so it's pretty cool. I do like that gimmick and how it's not forced into the toy. But I think that, again, I think that this is a good toy for kids. It's a nice way to get them involved in the Transformer franchise, and if that works, then obviously they can move on to more complex figures, such as the Studio Series Bumblebee. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Before I go, I want to send a huge thank you if you made it all the way to the end of this review. Another way that you can really help support my channel is making sure that you watch a video all the way through. And if you did that, thank you. Also, a huge shout out to all of my patrons who, through their continued support, now more than ever help to make reviews like this possible. And if you'd like to be one of those people, check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/Optibotimus. And finally, remember, the real trouble with the world is too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.